And you know, stopping the violence in Jacksonville is on the minds of many who live here. This afternoon, I had a chance to sit down with Sheriff Mike Williams and ask him what he's doing to reduce the number of murders. 2019 was a violent year in Jacksonville.
I think from 18 to 19, we saw an uptick. I wouldn't say that it's getting worse to the point where, we abandon all of these issues, we abandon all the strategies and move in a different direction. That's not the case, just the opposite, quite frankly. I think we've, when you look at having the right number of policemen in the right place at the right time, doing the right kind of work, when you look at all the technology that we've brought in, when you look at programs like Cure Violence, which I'm a fan of, I think all those things working together is what gets you to the point of having some success in driving down those numbers.
Sheriff Mike Williams says a small number of people are behind a significant amount of the violence. While he's focused on continuing to do what he says is working, he cautions it takes time. So when you talk about the public wanting action, wanting the violence to end, what is the expectation that you want to set as far as when we'll start to see a decline in the number of murders in Jacksonville?
So look, we ended 2019 focused on that problem, working on it, and we haven't stopped, and we were focused on that work into 2020. One of the messages that we have to the community is, if you're not buying, selling, or using drugs in the community, and you're not associating with people who do, your chance of being a victim of violence in Jacksonville is very low.
So let's talk about Northwest Jacksonville. It's definitely a hot spot when it comes to crime. That zip code 32209, almost 30 homicides there last year. What specifically do you plan to do in that area, Northwest Jacksonville, to crack down on the crime there?
So we've got Northwest Jacksonville, we've got a couple of other spots that we are going to really put some intensive resources in different pockets. Hotspot policing is an easy way to describe it, but we're going to add and plus up what we've been doing in that area to see how much impact we can have.
The sheriff is putting more officers on the streets in those hotspots and says engaging the community is a top priority.
We want to make a harder push in 2020 to really pull the community in, calling us before you have an incident in your neighborhood, reaching out to us and getting us engaged in some of these potential conflicts before they explode into gun violence.
Now, I asked the sheriff if he has the resources he needs to fight crime in Jacksonville. He told me that is something that is constantly being evaluated and that the International Association of Chief of Police has been in town for several months assessing JSO from top to bottom and is expected to report its findings next month to the City Council.